Hi everyone, my name is Oladapo Johnson Utukoya. I want to answer question 5 of the 2019 West African Senior School Certificate Examination callers for school candidates. The question is basically on advertising, but before I answer before I go into the question, I'd just like us to know that advertising simply means calling attention of people to something, either through paid um, announcement or not, but it's just basically to make people aware of something, particularly a product or a service. So now the questions are divided into three. We have 5A, B, and C. But I will answer 5A first. And the question is list six advertising media used in business. I want to list six advertising media used in business. Number one, I have newspapers. Number two, magazine or journals. Number three, radio. Number four, television. Number five, cinema. Number six, leaflets, posters, handbills or banners. If you mention either of the three, they're just either of the four, they're just one. You either mention one, so you don't have to repeat it subsequently. So, and the number six is hoarding or billboards. Number seven and number eight rather is neon signs. Nine, catalogs. 10, internet. And this 11 points is window display. So if you mention any six of the 11 points that I just listed as the media for or the mediums for advertising, you are good to go. But I also want to call our attention to something, and that is repetition. You should know which which answer which answer is tagged together. I mentioned magazine or journal. So if you mention journal, you don't need to mention magazine again in your answer. So it will be repetitive for you to say magazine as number two and list journal as number three. The second one will be tagged as repetition, so you will not get any mark for it. So instead of wasting your energy and ink, just know how they are tagged. And then I also mentioned leaflets, posters, handbills, and banners. The four are just one. You mention any of the four. So if you are told to list six and you now listed the four, so it means the other three are repetitive. The first one among them will be the right answer. So you have wasted like maybe if it is two marks, you have wasted like that's 6 marks. So you need to know how answers are paired. Now let's go to 5B. The question is what is personal selling? That is, what do you understand by personal selling? And so personal selling is simply the face-to-face interaction of a salesman with potential customers rather, for the purpose of presenting products, answering questions, or explaining features of products and procuring orders. So personal selling is just you introducing a product to your potential customers or to customers, let me just say so, and then answering questions about the product. They may want to know the do's and don'ts, the side effects and the result. That is personal selling, and also telling them about the features. Um, that's just all about personal selling. So you, as when you're selling personally, you should be able to tell them what the product is used for. Now, 5C. The question is state four advantages and two disadvantages of personal selling. So we want to look at the benefits or the advantages or the merits of personal selling. We want to look at four of them and two disadvantages. So the on the disadvantages we have one, personal selling facilitates the sale of expensive, fragile, complex, and infrequently bought goods. You know, there's some goods like electronics, like breakable plates, or it's like gold, expensive items like that needs to be sold personally because people will need to know more about it. Or there are many items like that that needs to be sold personally, you know, so that you can tell them in detail the the features of what the product is used for. Then number two, it facilitates individualized presentation. of a company's products and getting feedback or demonstration of the use of the product. So you'll be able to talk one on one to the person that wants to buy it, and then you can also demonstrate it. You know, like electronics. You'll be able to demonstrate how a particular electronic is set up and it's used, and that's that. Then three, it is selective. A company's sales personnel a company's sales personnel contacts only buyers in the target market, unlike other promotional measures that reach all and sundry. Because many a times products sold through personal selling are expensive, and they are also targeted at a segment of the market. It's not for all. So you tailor your advert at them. So it's not waste you don't waste your airtime to advertise. So you know the people you are going to, and then you also explain to them personally. Number 4 point on the advantages is it is used to increase sales both during and off peak periods. You will know when you sell better and you know when you don't sell better. So but when whatever there is something you sell, you can present your product to people when, particularly maybe during rush hour or when the traffic is low or whatever. But the major thing is it is targeted. So you are not like when there's an advert on air, you know, if you don't if you just advertise to the people generally, it may not get to the right person. Ah, that's how personal selling is. So you advertise based on those that really need it, and it doesn't matter the time that you advertise it, that you talk to them. As far as you're able to get across to them, you will get your products sold. The probability is high. Then it projects and sustains the good image of the company. Because you're able to explain the product better, you'll be able to tailor the products towards the needs of that person, and thereby promoting the image of the organization. Because if they want to say something bad about it, you'll be able to say, no, this is what the organization stands for. Because you're able to explain to them one on one as a salesperson. Then the seventh point is it elicits immediate feedback. It's a two-way communication. You know, you don't just like some adverts that are run on other media or using any other method of advertising. You may not most times people don't get feedback. But with personal selling, you have with someone, person will tell you, I want to use this product or a similar product, this is what I got, and you'll be able to explain to them better. So it's not just a one-way communication, but this personal selling is a two-way communication. You get feedback almost immediately. Then the eighth point that I list that is list what is listed here is it is used to introduce new products. When you're introducing new product, people want to know more about it. So by the time you get to them, you'll be able to explain how the product is used, what it's made of, and what the product is made up of. So that is what personal selling entails. So if you're able to list any four of the 8 points listed, you will get a full mark. Now, the advantages, I'll list six. So you have to take two out of the disadvantages. Number one disadvantage of personal selling is its use is limited to the sale of technical and industrial goods. So it is actually used to sell industrial goods or technical goods, goods that people don't really understand easily. So then number two, it is difficult for the manager to control the activities of salesmen in the field because nobody is there with them. If they go, fine. If they did not go, fine. And except there's a sales or whatever, if they come back and told you that they didn't sell, you wouldn't know. And so that's one of the disadvantages. And they may not even go out at all. Three, it is costly to train and maintain the salesman, particularly, the goods, the most of those goods are expensive, unlike other means of advertising. You can you can use little amount to get across to many people. But with this one, because it is one on one, you have to train the person to know the product very, very well before they can go out, he or she can go out to sell the product. So the training usually is expensive. Number fourth point is honest and the right caliber of personnel are hard to come by. That's another issue. You know, the right people that can take your product, because if you give your product to the wrong person and the person takes your product away, person the organization will be at a loss. So integrity is or honesty is very, very vital when getting the salesman. Salesmen are often not welcomed, when they want to say something. People just like, I'm not interested in listening to you. So sometimes this personal selling encounters um, people not wanting to listen to salesmen. Then the sixth point is it leads to increase in the price of the product because somebody has to carry it. They have to factor that into the product. You know, so that's all about that. So if you're able to list two out of the 6 points, you should get your full mark. Thank you for watching. Please, we now go to the next question.